I knew something was wrong the moment she stopped looking at me and started looking at her phone. Right there in the middle of our wedding vows. But nothing prepared me for what came next. "I'm sorry, wait," my fiancée Lila said, raising one hand toward the officiant and the other toward our guests. Her bouquet dangled awkwardly from her wrist as she hurried down the steps of the altar. For a moment, everyone thought she was crying or overwhelmed. I thought she was overwhelmed. Then I saw her unlock her phone, flip to the front camera and say breathlessly with a smile that wasn't for me, "Guys, the lighting is so much better over here. I have to capture this. Hold on, just 1 second." Our families sat frozen. Her bridesmaids stared like they just watched someone drop a baby. I heard myself whisper, "Lila, what are you doing?" But she didn't look up. She was too busy finding her good angle. Too busy live streaming our wedding before we finished the vows. Too busy reading the comments, real-time hearts floating up the screen. As if this moment belonged more to strangers than to me. That was the moment something inside me quietly snapped. People say betrayal is a sudden thing like a knife in the back. But I think it's quieter. Slower. A thinning thread pulled too many times. The live stream was just the final yank. Because honestly, the signs had been there. They were all subtle enough that I excused them, brushed them off, told myself she was just excited or just stressed. But looking back, every red flag was waving, bright as her lipstick. Like when she asked if we could recreate the proposal, because her original makeup wasn't camera ready. Or when she told me to delay sending out invitations until she secured a brand partnership deal for wedding content. Or when she snapped at me the morning of the engagement shoot because I'd gotten a haircut she hadn't approved. And the worst one, 2 weeks before the wedding, I overheard her on the phone with her friend saying, "I need this wedding to go viral. You don't understand, it could change everything. Not we. Not our life. Not our love. This wedding." I didn't want to believe it. I never do, not when I love someone. I fold myself small, make excuses, try to be patient. Because the truth is I loved her so much it felt like fear. So I stood there at the altar, watching my bride-to-be adjust her veil to get a cleaner shot, and I thought, this can't be my life. This can't be the person I'm promising forever to. She hadn't cheated, not in the traditional sense. But betrayal isn't always about another person. Sometimes betrayal is simply being made to feel small, invisible, secondary to a screen. And as I watched her spin, catching the light just right, I realized she didn't love me. She loved the idea of being loved. She loved the audience more than the groom. She finally came back up the steps after almost 4 minutes of live streaming. 4 minutes is nothing in a normal day, but at your wedding in front of your families? It's a lifetime. She whispered, Okay, we can start again." Like she just finished fixing a smudge of lipstick. The officiant glanced at me, unsure, and I gave him a tiny nod. Not approval. Permission. I needed those final minutes to be absolutely certain. He resumed, "Do you, Lila?" But she wasn't listening. She was checking the viewer count. That was it. My last thread snapped. When it came time for me to say my vows, I unfolded my paper slowly. My hands weren't shaking. I was strangely calm, the way people describe being right before they jump out of an airplane. I looked at her, at the woman I thought I knew, and said, "I wrote these vows months ago, but I'm not going to read them, because they were meant for someone I thought you were." A ripple went through the audience. Lila's smile froze. She lowered her phone half an inch. "You told me once," I continued, "that you wanted our wedding to be unforgettable. So I guess we've both gotten what we wanted." People shifted in their seats. Someone dropped a program. Lila stepped forward. "What are you doing?" "Not now." "Stop." I ignored her. "This whole time," I said, "I thought we were building a life. But it turns out, I was only building your content." Her cheeks flushed, not with shame but with anger. The same anger she showed when a filter didn't apply correctly. "Can we talk about this later?" she hissed. "No," I said softly. Because later would have been just another moment. I wasn't allowed to feel anything unless it fit your aesthetic. Silence swallowed the room. I folded the vows neatly and set them on the podium. Then I stepped back and said, "Not loud, not dramatic, just honest." "I don't." Gasps erupted. Her mother covered her mouth. One of my uncles whispered, "Holy shit. Lila reached for me. You can't do this. Not in the middle. You stopped the wedding for your phone, I said. I'm just finishing what you started. And I walked down the aisle alone. The fallout was exactly what you'd expect. Her family tried calling me for days. Her friends blasted me online without knowing a single detail. Strangers took sides. But I didn't post anything. Not a photo. Not a rant. Not a justification. The truth didn't need filters or hashtags. I moved out of our shared apartment quietly, packed my things, left the ring on the kitchen counter. No note, no dramatic flourish. I didn't block her. I didn't respond either. She sent long messages, some apologizing, some demanding explanations, some accusing me of humiliating her. She never once said she was sorry for caring more about her viewers than her vows. Funny how that part never came up. It's been 3 months now. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not heartbroken either, not in the way I expected. Mostly I feel relief. Because sometimes the real betrayal is staying in a place where you're constantly proving your worth to someone who only sees you through a lens. Sometimes the real revenge is simply walking away. And sometimes, like in my case, the lighting is finally better when you're no longer standing in someone else's shadow.